What if I told you that what you thought was a loss is actually the greatest gift the universe could give you right now? Aquarius, have you felt like people are simply disappearing from your life? Like doors are closing without you understanding why? Like relationships that seem solid are crumbling like sand through your fingers? Well, know that none of this is a coincidence. The universe is working in your favor in a way you can't fully see yet. There's a cosmic movement happening right now at this very moment that is reorganizing your entire reality. And this movement has a much greater purpose than you imagine. People are being removed from your path not because you did something wrong, not because you don't deserve love or friendship, but quite the opposite. You are being prepared for something so grand, so transformative, that the old energy simply no longer matches who you are becoming. You know that feeling of emptiness that sometimes tightens your chest? That feeling of loneliness that seems to make no sense? It is precisely this space that is being created so that something new, something much more aligned with your true essence, can finally enter your life. And in today's video, you will discover exactly why this is happening to you now, what the signs are that confirm this cosmic cleansing, and most importantly, how you can cooperate with this process instead of resisting it. Stay with me until the end because I'm going to reveal something that can completely change the way you see everything that is happening in your life. Aquarius, the first reason the universe is removing people from your path is because you're entering a completely different vibrational frequency. And when I talk about frequency, I'm not talking about something abstract or difficult to understand. Think of frequency as the radio station your soul is tuned to right now. Lately, you've been going through profound transformations. You may not even consciously realize it, but your way of seeing the world has changed. Your priorities have changed. What made you happy before may no longer make as much sense now. Those conversations you had with certain people have started to seem empty, superficial, without substance. And that's not because you've become boring or arrogant. It's because you've evolved. Your consciousness has expanded. You've begun to see layers of reality that previously went unnoticed. And when that happens, something very interesting begins to occur. The people who vibrated at the same frequency as you in the past simply can no longer keep up with this new tuning. It's not their fault, and it's not your fault. It's simply a matter of energetic compatibility. Imagine you've spent your whole life listening to one type of music, and suddenly, your ears open to completely new melodies, more complex, deeper. You won't want to go back to what you listened to before. And the people who are still stuck in that old frequency will feel that you are different, distant, changed. And they're right. You have changed. But this change is sacred. It's necessary. It's part of your spiritual evolution process. The universe knows this. And so, with all its wisdom and love, it is gently removing these people from your path. Not to hurt them, not to punish them, but to create space. Space so that you can move freely in this new frequency without being pulled back into old patterns that no longer serve you. Have you ever noticed how certain people drained you? How after talking to them you felt tired, confused, heavy? This happened because there was a conflict of frequencies. You were trying to keep one foot in each world, and that's exhausting. It doesn't work. The universe saw this and decided to intervene in your favor. The second reason why people are leaving your life is directly related to your purpose. Aquarius, you are not here on this planet to live an ordinary, mediocre, predictable life. You were born with a mission. And even if you don't yet know exactly what that mission is, the universe does. And it's doing the necessary preparation work so that you can fulfill it. Many of the people who were around you simply aren't part of that mission. They came into your life to teach specific lessons, to help you develop certain characteristics, to show you what you don't want, to make you realize who you really are through contrast. And those lessons have already been learned. The cycle is complete. Now it's time to move on. But here's something important you need to understand. When a person leaves your life, it doesn't mean they were bad or that the time you spent together was wasted. Quite the opposite. Every person who crossed your path left marks, transformed you in some way, contributed to who you are today. And you should be grateful for that. But gratitude doesn't mean attachment. You can be grateful for the journey and still let go. You can acknowledge the value someone had in your life, and still accept that the time for farewell has come. The universe is removing these people because there are others waiting to enter. People who are aligned with your purpose. People who will support you, inspire you, challenge you in positive ways. People who will walk alongside you in this next phase of your journey. But these new people can't arrive while you're clinging to the old ones. There's no space. Your energy is all invested in maintaining relationships that have already expired. And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, knows you need that little push. That's why it's creating the necessary circumstances for these detachments to happen. Sometimes gently, sometimes more abruptly, but always with love. Always aiming for your highest good. Your purpose demands that you be surrounded by people who believe in you, who see your potential, who encourage you to shine. People who aren't afraid of your success, who don't feel threatened by your growth. And these people are coming. Believe in it. Trust in divine timing. The universe would never leave you alone without a good reason. The third reason the universe is doing this cleansing in your life has to do with protection. Yes, protection. Aquarius, you are more sensitive than you appear. Behind that facade of an independent, rational, sometimes even distant person, there is a heart that feels everything very deeply. And not everyone deserves access to that heart. Not everyone knows how to handle the purity of your intention, the generosity of your spirit. Some people, consciously or not, took advantage of this. Perhaps you didn't realize it at the time, but they were draining your energy, feeding off your light, using you as emotional support without ever reciprocating. Relationships like that are toxic, and the universe won't allow you to continue wearing yourself down in this way. It loves you too much for that. So it's intervening. It's creating situations, circumstances, events that naturally distance these people from your life. You may have noticed how certain friendships simply cooled down. No fighting, no drama, no clear reason. You just stopped talking. The meetings became rarer until they ceased completely. This is the universe at work. It's protecting you from energies that could hold you back, confuse you, or lead you astray. Because now more than ever you need to be focused. You need to be whole. You need to preserve your energy for what truly matters. And this isn't selfishness. This is self-love. It's self-care. It's wisdom. You can't help anyone if you yourself are empty. You can't light the way for others if your own flame is weak. The universe understands this. And that's why it's being your guardian, your protector, your shield. It's filtering who is allowed to approach you. And only those who come with pure intentions, with high energy, with purposes aligned with yours, will be able to get through this filter. This may seem lonely now. It may seem like you're losing everyone. But in reality, you're just getting rid of what was false, what was weak, what had no true foundation. And when this cleansing is complete, you'll look around and finally see. You'll see the quality of the connections that remain. You'll feel the difference. You'll understand that less is more when it comes to true relationships. Since we're talking about important transformations in your life, I want to make a special request. If this message is touching your heart, if you feel these words were meant for you right now, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Activate the notification bell, so you don't miss any content that can help you on this spiritual journey. And leave a comment telling me where you're watching from. I love knowing that these messages are reaching different places, touching different hearts. If these words are making sense to you, if you feel the universe brought you here for a reason, consider supporting the channel. Become a subscriber. This helps me continue bringing you this content, these messages that the universe so wants to reach your ears. Your energy here makes all the difference. Now let's continue because I still have much to reveal to you. The fourth reason why the universe is removing people from your path is directly related to your self-confidence and emotional independence. Aquarius, you were born to be free. To fly high, to explore new horizons, to break patterns, to be different. But throughout your life you have created bonds, dependencies, attachments that, in a way, held you back. Perhaps you became accustomed to seeking validation from certain people. Perhaps you depended on their approval to feel good about yourself. Perhaps you stopped doing certain things because you knew they wouldn't understand, wouldn't support you, wouldn't agree. And without realizing it, you molded your life according to these people. You put your dreams aside. You silenced your authentic voice. You hid parts of who you really are. And this needs to end. You need to reconnect with your essence. You need to remember who you were before the world told you who you should be. And for this to happen, the universe needs to put you in a situation where you no longer have these emotional crutches, where you are forced to rely on yourself, trusting your own judgment, validating your own choices, being your own best friend. This may seem daunting at first. You may feel like you're losing your footing, like you have no one left to turn to. But this is exactly the transformation that needs to happen. You need to discover that you are strong enough on your own, that you don't need an audience to be amazing, that you don't need witnesses to validate your experiences, that you are complete within yourself. And when you reach that level of awareness, something magical happens. The right people start to appear naturally, but now they don't come to fill a void inside you. They come to add to your life, to share, to exchange, to grow together. The relationship is balanced, healthy, inspiring. There is no longer that desperate need to cling to someone for fear of being alone, because you are no longer alone. You are with yourself, and you have discovered that your own company is wonderful. The universe is giving you this gift, the gift of your own presence, of your own strength, of your ability to sustain yourself emotionally. Don't waste this opportunity fighting the process. Embrace temporary solitude. Use this time to get to know yourself deeply, to heal, to rebuild yourself, to fall in love with who you are. The fifth truth you need to understand is that the universe is removing these people because you are about to enter a new cycle of abundance and expansion. And this new cycle requires a new version of you, a stronger, more conscious version, more aligned with your truth. The people who are leaving now wouldn't be able to handle this new version. They knew you a certain way. They got used to the role you played. And any attempt on your part to change, to grow, to transform would be seen as a threat. They would try to keep you small. Not necessarily out of malice, but out of fear. Fear of losing you. Fear of being left behind. Fear of realizing that they also need to change. And you can't carry other people's fear on your shoulders. You already have your own insecurities to deal with, your own doubts to overcome. You can't be responsible for keeping other people comfortable at the cost of your own growth. That would be betrayal of yourself. It would be wasting your potential. It would be saying no to the universe when it's calling you to greater things. So the universe, in its infinite goodness, is facilitating this process for you. He's causing these people to naturally drift away so you don't have to carry the guilt of leaving them behind. You're not abandoning anyone. You're simply following your own path. And everyone has their own. The abundance coming your way is great. Greater than you imagine. And it comes in many forms. Financial abundance, yes, but also an abundance of opportunities, creativity, love, health, inner peace, and purpose. But to receive all of this, you need space. Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual space. And people who drain your energy, who criticize you, who don't believe in you, who constantly remind you of the past, take up a lot of space. Precious space that could be used to manifest your dreams. The universe knows this. It's doing its part. Now you need to do yours. You need to let go completely. You need to stop looking back and wondering what you could have done differently. You need to accept that some stories end not because they were poorly written, but because they reached the final chapter. And that's okay. Because new books are being opened. New stories are beginning. And they're even better. More exciting. More aligned with who you really are. The sixth reason for this cosmic cleansing is related to your spiritual development. Aquarius, you are being called to deeper levels of consciousness, to truer connections with the divine, to a greater understanding of the mysteries of life. And this kind of journey cannot be done in a group, at least not at the beginning. You need to walk alone for a while. You need to find your own soul without external interference. You need to silence all the voices around you so that you can finally hear the voice that comes from within. The voice of your intuition, the voice of your heart, the voice of the universe speaking directly to you. Many people in your life were too noisy, not necessarily in volume but in energy. They occupied so much space in your mind that you couldn't connect with your own essence. You were always worried about what they thought, what they expected, how they would react. And this kept you trapped in a superficial dimension of existence. You couldn't dive deep. You couldn't access the deeper layers of your spirituality. The universe noticed this and decided it was time for a change. He is giving you silence. He is giving you solitude. He is giving you space so that you can finally listen to yourself. And in this silence, in this solitude, in this space, you will discover incredible things about yourself. You will discover that you have powers you never imagined, that you have a stronger connection with the divine than you thought, that you can manifest realities through your thoughts and intentions, that you are much more than this physical body, that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And this discovery will transform everything. It will completely change the way you live your life, how you make decisions, how you relate to others, how you see challenges and opportunities. You will begin to see synchronicities everywhere. You will realize that the universe is constantly communicating with you through signs, symbols, coincidences. You will understand that you have never been alone, that there has always been a greater force guiding you, protecting you, loving you unconditionally. But to reach this level of consciousness, you needed this time alone. You needed this temporary separation from people. You needed this retreat. So don't see this as punishment. See it as preparation. You are being prepared to become a clearer channel for divine energy, to be a brighter light in this world, to fulfill your mission more effectively. The seventh reason why people are leaving your life is because the universe is teaching you about detachment. Aquarius, even though you're a sign known for being detached in many aspects, there's an area of your life where you cling more than you should. And it's usually to people. You create deep bonds, even if you don't show it openly. And when these people leave, you suffer more than you let on. You keep questioning what you did wrong. Where did you fail? How could you have avoided it? And you get stuck in this cycle of thoughts that leads you nowhere. The universe wants to teach you that nothing in this life is permanent, that everything is transient, that people come and go, and that this is part of the human experience. You can't control who stays and who goes. You can only control how you react to it. Whether you cling to the pain or choose gratitude. Whether you stay stuck in the past or open your arms to the future. Whether you victimize yourself or use it as a springboard to grow. Detachment doesn't mean not caring. It doesn't mean being cold or insensitive. Detachment means loving without suffocating. It means holding lightly instead of tightly. It means understanding that you don't own anyone, that each person is free to make their own choices, and that these choices should be respected even when they hurt. The universe is training you for this level of emotional maturity, showing you through practical experience that you survive, that you are resilient, that you have the capacity to rebuild yourself even after the most painful losses. And every time you get up after a goodbye, you become stronger, wiser, more prepared for what lies ahead. You develop unwavering self-confidence, a certainty that no matter what happens, you will be okay, because you've been through storms before and come out stronger. And that confidence is powerful. It frees you from fear, the fear of losing, the fear of not being enough, the fear of being alone. You realize that everything you need is already within you, that you don't depend on anyone to be happy, that you are the source of your own joy. And when you reach that place of inner completeness, something magical happens. You attract people of a completely different quality, people who are also whole, who have also done this inner work, who don't need you but choose you. And this choice, based on freedom and not on need, creates much healthier, more balanced and lasting relationships. The eighth truth about this removal of people has to do with ancestry and family patterns. Aquarius, you are breaking cycles that come from generations. Your family, your ancestors carried certain unhealthy relationship patterns. Perhaps it was codependency. Perhaps it was a lack of boundaries. Perhaps it was the need for constant approval. Perhaps it was the tendency to always put the needs of others above your own. And you unconsciously absorbed these patterns. You learned these behaviors. You repeated these dynamics in your relationships. But now the time has come to stop, to consciously choose differently, to create new, healthier patterns that you will pass on to future generations. And to do this, you need to distance yourself from people who represent the old pattern. Even if they are people you love, even if they are family, even if they are longtime friends, you need space to reprogram yourself, to deconstruct limiting beliefs, to question what has always been given as absolute truth. And this isn't easy to do when you're constantly surrounded by people who know you a certain way, who expect certain behaviors from you, who get confused or even offended when you start acting differently. The universe understands this difficulty, and that's why it's creating the necessary distance. It's giving you the opportunity to reinvent yourself away from judgmental eyes, to experiment with new ways of being without having to give explanations, to discover who you are beyond the roles you've always played. You're not just a son. You're not just a friend. You're not just a colleague. You are an entire universe. Complex, multifaceted, full of layers that you yourself don't yet fully know. And to explore these layers, you need freedom. You need to feel safe to make mistakes, to try, to fail, to start over. And this is only possible when you're not constantly being observed and analyzed by people who carry expectations about who you should be. The work you're doing now isn't just for you. It's for your entire lineage. You're healing wounds that aren't even yours. You're releasing traumas that have been passed down from generation to generation. You are breaking destructive patterns that caused suffering for your ancestors. And this is sacred work. Work that requires courage, dedication, and great inner strength. The universe recognizes this, and it is honoring you through this purification process. The ninth reason for this divine cleansing is linked to your ability to manifest. Aquarius, you are a powerful manifester. Your thoughts, your words, your emotions have immense creative power. You literally create your reality through the energy you emit. And the people around you directly affect this energy. If you are surrounded by negative, pessimistic people who constantly complain, who don't believe in anything, who only see problems, your ability to manifest good things is compromised. Because you absorb that energy, you begin to doubt yourself. You start to think your dreams are impossible. You start to see obstacles where you previously saw possibilities. And this cannot continue. You are entering a phase where you will manifest incredible things. Things you didn't even dare to dream of before. Opportunities that will appear as if by magic. Synchronicities that will leave you speechless. But for this to happen, you need to keep your vibration high. You need to protect your energy as if it were gold. Because it is. Your energy is your most precious asset. It is through it that you create your reality. And the universe knows that certain people were contaminating your energy. They were lowering your frequency. They were preventing you from accessing your maximum creative potential. That's why it's doing this cleansing. It's removing these energetic blockages disguised as people, so that you can finally vibrate at the frequency of your desires, so that you can align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with what you want to manifest. And when you are in this state of total alignment, without external interference pulling you down, you will see how things begin to flow, how doors open, how answers arrive, how the universe conspires in your favor in ways you never imagined possible. But you need to do your part. You need to be conscious about who you allow into your life from now on. You need to create criteria. You need to establish standards. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone deserves to be in your life. And it's okay to be selective. It's okay to be discerning. This is not snobbery. It's self-care. It's wisdom. It's respect for yourself and for the work you are doing to create the life of your dreams. The 10th and final reason why the universe is removing people from your path is the most profound of all. It's because you're preparing to find your true tribe. Aquarius, you've always felt a little different, haven't you? You've always had the feeling of not quite fitting in anywhere, of being a foreigner in every land, of speaking a language that few understand. And this has created a loneliness within you, a feeling of isolation that you've carried for a long time. You've tried to adapt. You've tried to mold yourself to fit into groups. You've tried to hide parts of yourself that were too different. But it never quite worked. There was always discomfort, a feeling of wearing a mask, of not being able to be fully yourself. And that's exhausting. But know that this feeling of not belonging doesn't exist because you're strange or inadequate. It exists because you haven't yet found your true tribe. The people who think like you, who see the world with the same eyes, who value the same things, who speak your language. These people exist, and they are coming. But they can't reach you while you're surrounded by the wrong people, because you're too busy trying to make those relationships work. You're spending all your energy trying to be understood by people who simply aren't capable of understanding you. Not because of their limitations, but because of differences in essence. The universe saw this and decided to intervene. It's emptying your life of people who aren't your tribe so that you have space to receive those who are. And when you find your true tribe, you'll know. You'll feel it in your heart. It will be like coming home after a long journey. It will be like finally breathing after being underwater for a long time. You'll be able to be completely yourself without fear. You'll be able to talk about your interests without being judged. You'll be able to share your ideas without being ridiculed. You'll be able to show your vulnerability without being used. And this will heal that old wound of loneliness you carry. It will make you realize that there was never anything wrong with you. You were just in the wrong place with the wrong people. But now that's changing. The universe is rearranging everything. It's aligning the pieces of the puzzle. It's creating the perfect conditions for you to find your tribe. So be patient. Trust the process. Understand that this solitary phase is temporary. It's just the calm before the storm. And the storm that comes is beautiful. It's full of color, joy, and genuine connections. You just need to hold on a little longer. We've reached the end of this video, and I hope you've grasped the depth of what's happening in your life right now. Aquarius, you are not being punished. You did nothing wrong. You are not being abandoned. Quite the opposite. You are being prepared. You are being purified. You are being elevated to a new level of existence. The universe is working in your favor, even when it seems otherwise. Every person who leaves is a blessing in disguise. Every door that closes is making room for enormous windows to open. Every ending is actually a new beginning. So stop resisting. Stop fighting the current. Let go. Release control. Trust that there is a greater plan unfolding. A plan you can't fully see now, but that will make perfect sense when you look back in a few months. The right people will arrive. True relationships will form. Abundance will flow. Joy will return. But first you need to go through this cleansing process. You need to make peace with temporary solitude. You need to use this time to strengthen yourself, to get to know yourself, to heal yourself. And when you emerge on the other side, you will be a completely transformed person. Stronger, wiser, more conscious, more aligned with your truth. And then, you will be ready to receive everything the universe has prepared for you. Now I want to ask you some questions to reflect on. Which people do you feel are leaving your life right now? How have you reacted to these departures? Are you resisting or accepting them? Can you see any patterns in these people who are leaving? What do they have in common? And most importantly, are you using this time alone to grow, or are you just suffering? Think about it. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe now. Activate the bell so you don't miss the next content that will help you on this spiritual journey. Leave a comment telling me where you're watching from and how this video impacted you. Your participation is very important to me. And if these words touched your heart, if you felt they were made especially for you, consider becoming a subscriber to the channel. This helps me continue bringing these messages from the universe to you. Remember, you are not alone. The universe is with you. I am with you. And better days are coming. Believe in that with all your heart.